Sometimes, guys, raid is about perseverance and attention to detail and not about the legendary champions that you have.
Shoot him, Kevin!
Hello, everybody. I'm Roadblock, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Today has been quite the difficult day for me in the game. Now, for those of you that have tuned into my live streams, you've seen me work on this team a bunch. This Ice Golem team right here. A quick disclaimer, because you guys are going to scream at me. Put that Artak in regen gear, and he can solo this fight on stage 10 with food. What are you doing, Roadblock, you dum-dum? I get that, guys. I know that's a thing. I have two problems. One, I do not have regen gear on the account. I don't farm it. I don't care. The one set that I have is on my Godseeker, and that is it. It's not a set that I really farm. I do have some pieces on other champions, like obviously Lady Annabelle. Makes sense for it for Bommel reasons, but it's just not an approach to the game that I find fun, right? Just putting a champion that is very, very powerful in regen and letting them go. I like the challenge of solving puzzles in a slightly different way. That's not to say I don't use those teams, right? I do. That's because Sand Devil, sometimes not the easiest, right, to build a conventional team. So I'm convinced I can do it on Ice Golem. Now, this team, I've built this. I've had my chat help me build it. We've worked on it, and I've never really been able to get it to be 100%. I still don't know if it is 100%, but I feel closer than ever today because I completely changed my approach. And that's what I want this video to be about. This video is not a guide on how to beat Ice Golem. This video is a guide on how to beat any challenge that you are facing in Raid. Now, we highlighted this a bunch in the free-to-play challenge, right? I was finding ways to use Tagoar and Uugo to get past bosses that in the Doom Tower and other areas of the game that I had no business beating. Stop right there. Click the link in the description right now to get a free legendary Elenaril and 3 free amazing epics as you level up. Here are the exact steps that you need to follow. Step 1, log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Here we go. You'll find Elenaril here, as well as Uugo at level 10, Tagoar at level 20, and Rector Drath at 30. Don't forget to use the promo code Supreme6 to get yourself the awesome Supreme Galek. And if you play for 7 days, you'll get a 3rd legendary Alice. This is an amazing account start in Raid. So click on my link right now and follow the steps. What did I do here? Well, first, let me tell you how I was being dumb. I kept having difficulty landing Artak's debuffs, right? He places HP burn, which is a very quick way to kill this boss. This boss is more sensitive to burns. I was like, well, he's not landing his debuffs. Let's up his accuracy. Oh, still not landing them. Let's get more accuracy. I had like 530 accuracy on our friend Artak here. And then it hit me what was really happening. So if we look at the boss guide, we can see that Debilitating Frost attacks all enemies, places a 50% decrease accuracy for 2 turns, decreases turn meter of all enemies, and removes all debuffs from the boss. The decrease accuracy was kicking my butt there, and the thing about decrease accuracy is if you're trying to get past decrease accuracy, the way to do it is not by increasing your accuracy, right? Because it reduces it by 50%. So if I have 500 accuracy, that goes down to 250. If I go up to 600, it's still only 300. Now, there is a tool that I can use called the Raid Stages tool. If you just type into Google Raid Stages tool, this will come up, and then you can fill it out, right? You tell it, are you looking at a dungeon, Doom Tower, like where are you looking, right? You can, so I'm looking at a dungeon, Ice Golem Peak, hard difficulty, stage 10, right? And that tells me exactly the amount So it's this orange one right here. That's the accuracy I need, and this is the resistance that I need. Now, funny enough, my resistance isn't that number, and yet I'm still finding success. Now, I don't know where the extra resist is coming from, to be completely honest with you. Actually, is it his passive, maybe? Damage, crit damage, defense. Yes! Yes! That's where it's coming from. That's where the resistance is coming from. Okay. Okay. Cool. That's what I'm talking about, guys, right? Sometimes, as raid players, we can be blinded to a solution. So, I increased this man's resistance. I have, on him, only 354 resistance. Now, on the other 2 champions that I have built for resist, they have enough according to the thing. I couldn't for the life of me figure out how I didn't have enough on Artak, but was still getting it to work. And now I know how, because it's this resistance right here. We'll go ahead and jump into it. I will show you guys the team here. This team, by the way, like I said, this is not a video about how to do Ice Golem, but I want you guys to understand the challenge that I was facing, right? So 2 things were happening. Artak was getting heal reduction and the decreased accuracy. My initial approach to solving the decreased accuracy problem was to just increase his accuracy so high that it didn't matter. That was a dumb approach. In fact, the solution is to increase his resistance so the debuff never applies in the first place, guys. We'll show you the team here. You guys can watch it run and kind of see. So for the waves, the Theodores really help on the waves here, because they are going to activate those burns and those poisons, take the squad down pretty quickly, and then we finish them off, you know, kind of with whatever's left, right? Place the burn. Now we're going to have our cooldown reduction abilities come out, so the Theodores can then activate their stuff again, including Artak stuff. Now, I turn off his A2 here. That would have gotten me all those kills, but I like opening with Artak's A2 on the boss because I want that decreased attack so that we don't take that much damage right there, that first initial hit. You'll see the Theodores do get the decreased accuracy on them. That doesn't really matter for what I'm trying to do here, so I'm not worried about that at all. It's these 3 that I really need to survive, and I am going to make a change to try and ensure that I have his shield on us, because when the shield is out, you'll see we take far less damage right there. See, like, that didn't do a thing. That shield is so chunky from Emic, so I'm going to make some tweaks to this team to try and make it 100% finally. But I've been struggling with this team for a very, very long time. I knew the secret was there, but I was going about it all wrong. I kept increasing the accuracy and increasing HP and defense, and, you know, when all along I just needed resistance, guy, right? And I'm a sleeper on resistance, man. Like, outside of arena, I don't think about resistance almost ever. If I would have opened up the raid stages tool far earlier in this adventure, I would have identified very quickly what's going on. If I looked at Artak's passive far earlier in this, I would have been like, oh, I don't need crazy amounts of resistance, I just need a little bit, right? Like, it was just these little mistakes. And I'm sure you're like, Roadblock, what are you doing, man? You're a content creator. You're not supposed to tell us these things. No, we are all human. We are all going to make mistakes in this game, and that's okay, right? That's how we learn. And that's the takeaway that I want you guys to have in this video. Applying that, though, you're taking the time to slow down, focus, and think about a problem can present you with solutions that are obvious to some, but may not be obvious to yourself. Speaking of, let me do the team setup that I was just talking about here, right? So round 2, we open with that, and I tell him not to use it again, but it's still off cooldown by the time we get to the next phase. So yeah, I don't think it's going to work the way that I want it to. That's fine. We're still placing unkillable, but it is frustrating when we take too much damage. The fact that I have the decreased attack at the beginning of the fight, though, sometimes in the fight, they just get chunked really hard. I don't know if it's because he crits or what, but it'll be nice, hopefully, to avoid some of those issues. And I do feel pretty confident about this team moving forward. It's definitely more than the 70% that I just completed the Ice Golem tournament with. So this Ice Golem tournament, I have been doing this all day at a 70% win rate. Don't do that, guys. Go down to normal if you know. But what really pushed me over the edge is that I had a mission that I just completed, and that mission was to do stage 7 or higher of Ice Golem hard. So I was like, oh well, now I have to make this team work, and I'm glad that I did, and we were able to beat it. Because I took a different, I just kind of backed up and said, hold on, more accuracy, more HP. More HP isn't helping me survive. More defense isn't helping me survive. More accuracy isn't landing my debuffs. Why is that happening? You know, I didn't even realize decreased accuracy was going out there, right? And I know these things are very obvious to most of you, but I gotta tell you, you know, a lot of you are probably the best players that Raid has ever seen, and you never make mistakes. And I applaud you. Like, you're awesome. Great. Congratulations. You're a robot. But some of us, including myself, are human, and we make these mistakes. And I wanted to share that mostly because, like, I do account takeovers, and in those account takeovers, I say stuff like, yeah, you know, you really need to be in speed boots, or, you know, flat stats aren't the way to go for the bottom 3 pieces, or whatever the case may be, right? I'm sure they felt, when they hear that stuff, they probably felt the way that I felt today, where I just felt so stupid, you know, so like it was just so obvious. But something I've said on this channel, and I haven't said it, I feel like, in a long time: you don't know what you don't know. And that's what makes content creators in this community so beneficial. Been seeing, I'm not going to go into a rant about it, but I've been seeing some hate on some of my fellow content creators' comments, some negativity, you know, some hurtful things towards content creators who I find valuable. You know, at the end of the day, just understand that everyone has a different approach to this game, and my approach is different from yours. That guy's approach is different from mine, you know, but we're all here to enjoy this game, and I love this game, and I'm going to enjoy it. So I've talked about this before with my clan boss team, right? So my Ultra Nightmare clan boss team, this is not a tuned team. This team does not hit 1,500 turns. Actually, it might now with Artak, now that I think about it. But I made a whole video on this, that my Mikage, I don't want to run a slow Mikage. My Mikage is 347 speed, but when you compare her to my Wixwell, he's only 267. That's not going to work when I'm trying to extend his buffs, because Mikage is so much faster. She'll outrun the buffs if you're not careful. Now, I fixed that by just throwing Artak in there for fun, but and that made it perfect. But I was okay with that, right? I was okay with a team that didn't do 500 million damage. They still did over 70 million. That was the minimum goal, right? You know, and so I found a way to make a team work that didn't compromise my Mikage in other content. The solution that you need is not always what you see in a video or what you see in a guide. Sometimes it's okay to troubleshoot, figure out, and find your own solution to a problem. Not to say that, you know, those videos are not valuable, but Raid, it's a challenging game, but it's a puzzling game, and sometimes you can come up with a solution that other people haven't thought of. So I don't want to beat this to death, right? I don't want to keep going on and on and on and on. I'm just trying to say that I wanted to, first of all, show you guys that I am not perfect. I am not the most knowledgeable person. I'm human, just like you guys. I'm still learning every single day in this game, just like a lot of you guys are too. So, you know, that's why I watch content just like you guys, so I can learn new stuff and learn different approaches. And in fact, I just did a collab that'll be coming out in a couple of days where I learned so much stuff that I never knew. And what's really funny is that when I went over to their channel, they learned so much stuff that they never knew, right? Or that they didn't think of, or didn't occur to them. Like, sometimes that different point of view helps so freaking much. Thank you guys for watching this video. I know this is a tougher watch than maybe some of my other content, but I really wanted to kind of just make a video about persevering in raid. I see people give up all the time. This game's too hard. You can't do a fusion. They make it too difficult. You have to spend money. And, you know, I'm here to tell you, there are different approaches. They're not always the easiest route, but you guys can enjoy this game in different, you know, playing it your way. If you guys want a detailed breakdown of that team, I'll be happy to do it. The reason I didn't do a detailed breakdown and didn't do like this is how you beat Ice Golem is because, you know, if it all revolves around a champion that you don't need these 4 champions to do it with, right? So I kind of felt like it's unnecessary to make this into its own video. But if you guys want the breakdown, I'm happy to do it. I just didn't think a lot of people are going to have Lady of Ireth. To be fair, you could do this probably with a Painkeeper in her spot. But then are you going to have 2 Teodors? You know, like it's kind of like, do you really, you know, this is kind of not a free-to-play friendly team. And it's not even a high-level team because high-level guys are just running a stacked Artak most of the time. So, you know, it's kind of just me being a goofball and doing my own thing. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If you're new here and this is your first video to see from me, what an experience you just had with me. But if you liked it and you like my honesty and you like my content, please consider subscribing. It is the best way to support me. I am on a mission for 5,000 subscribers. I do want to make this a career. I want to make a life out of doing content. And the best way to do that is to grow the channel and my subscriber count. So if you'd be so kind, just think about it. Do I want to subscribe to this guy? If the answer is yes, click that button as it helps me out. And then I know I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.